Come and do my daily cleaning and tidying routine as a stay-at-home wife with cerebral palsy. Now, I like to do a little and often each day, and it really helps me keep on top of my house. I look about 50 pounds heavier on camera, and I'm not sure why, but here I'm actually wearing an upcycled dress that I made from a bed set. So to start off, I washed up all the dishes from the morning as I leave them in the sink while I take the dogs out for a walk and tackle it when I come back. There was only a few cups, my flask that I take out with me and my cereal bowl from breakfast time. So I washed them up and put them on the draining board to dry before putting them away. I always wipe down the draining board of an evening. Then I spray down the kitchen, I go into the lounge with my anti-bac wipes and I just do a quick wipe over of all the tables, mostly my coffee table, the remote control as it gets used every single day, my sewing desk as this does get used most days for either sewing or writing and it can get quite dusty, so I give that a quick freshen up as well. I do polish the furniture and I do a deep clean of the lounge and its shelves once a week, but this is not a daily task. I then do a little tidy up, folding any blankets neatly so that it doesn't look too messy. I'm aware that the lounge is maximalist and very pattern clashing, but this is just how we like it. I don't tend to do much in Lucas's desk, but I do give it a quick wipe over. I also give a quick wipe over to the unit that the TV sits on every day, and any little bits and pieces that are up there, like my Kindle that I use most days, is wiped over as well. Think how many times a day you touch this stuff, so it's good to give it a general clean. I didn't really tackle Lucas's desk today as it is his private space, but it does tend to get quite messy. So every now and again I will give it just a quick wipe over. However, we are each responsible for cleaning and tidying our own desks. And of course we have our gorgeous little muttlings that are all tired out after a morning at the park, and we have to give them a little stroke. Back into the kitchen, I then wipe down all the food preparation surfaces. This, of course, will be done multiple times a day after preparing food and so on, but I do like to be into the habit of doing it at least morning and evening. Again, once or twice a week, everything gets taken off the sides, all the canisters get cleaned, the kettle gets wiped, and the cupboard fronts get wiped. But it won't be done daily. This is not a daily job for me in my house. But sides are an absolute must. This table gets really messy and I think it gets wiped over probably about 10 times a day. We often sit here and have a coffee. We also eat our dinner at this table, and as you can see, we also have a couple of what we call crack baskets, just to keep things tidy. I then put the chairs under so they don't get in my way while I'm pottering around. I didn't actually use the stove this morning, but I still wipe it over as part of my routine anyway. It just helps keep it nice and clean. And then I go onto the sink. Again, my sink gets cleaned probably multiple times a day, mostly morning and evening, but it will get a good wipe round every time it's used. I also do a deep clean on my sink where I scrub it down and do a limescale treatment, but again, this is not a daily job. This is just to make sure that it's kept clean and bacteria free. I personally don't have a washing up bowl as I find it awkward and it's just another thing to wash, so I just make sure that I clean the sink often. And give the plug a little wipe too. I also use denture tablets in my drains. I find they dissolve slowly over time with the moisture in the sink, and they're brilliant for keeping plugs fresh, drains fresh, and busting any build-up. I find that the windowsill can also get quite dusty, so while I'm there, I may as well give that a quick wipe too. Then into the bathroom. Now, I don't use these wipes as a replacement for actual cleaning. This bathroom wet room does get scrubbed very regularly. But for a quick daily wipe over, I tend to use these bathroom wipes. Again, the sink gets cleaned multiple times a day. The toilet gets cleaned at least twice a day. And twice a week, the whole thing gets completely scrubbed and deep cleaned from top to bottom. But again, this is just a little daily clean, and I really find these wipes very quick and handy to keep the sink, the shower and the toilet really nice and fresh. I also give the soap holder a nice wipe over, as I think that they are a high traffic area for being touched, so it's important that you have a clean soap holder to wash your clean hands. Again, why do windowsills always get dusty? I probably wipe my windowsills over most days. And then onto the shower. Again, this is just a quick daily wipe over to keep things clean and tidy. I start by giving the shower a wipe down with the hose. The holder also before placing the shower back. The tray that I put my glasses on when I'm in the shower, as well as the shower itself with the dials, as again, this is something you touch every day, so this gets a daily wipe over too. And of course, my shower chair. Now again, this gets scrubbed, a deep, proper scrub at least twice a week with the cushion taken off and everything. But I do give it a quick wipe over every day. It was absolutely filthy when we moved here, and it took so much scrubbing to get rid of staining. There's still a lot of staining around the feet. It's not black mould, it is just discoloured rubber, and it's took so long to get it all off, but it's nearly there. And lastly, I give my toilet a quick wipe over as well. I always do this last. The seat, the rim, all round, the lid, and making sure that it is all fresh. Again, this toilet will be properly scrubbed a few times a week with the deep cleans that could take place in this wet room, but these wipes just help to keep it fresh. I then use toilet cleaner all round the rim, getting right up in there. I leave it to sit for a while. I really like the Harpic blue toilet cleaner or bleach. I tend to alternate between the two. And yes, I do have a toilet brush. I know a lot of people don't use them, but I do sit my toilet brush in the holder in immersed bleach to keep it clean, and I also change them regularly. Let's not forget that I am a cerebral palsy girlie and I fatigue very quickly, so this is much easier for me to just keep my toilet fresh and clean, and they're cheap enough that they can be replaced. I mean, it sits in bleach anyway, so it's not like it's going to be completely filthy. And then I begrudgingly disturbed the muttlings from their sofa, as today the sofa throw and cushion covers were due for a wash. So I stripped them off the sofa. I use blankets on this sofa as the dogs do go on the sofa, and it just helps keep it nice and clean. And once a week the throw and the pillowcases are chucked in the wash. I then pop it all in the washing machine. Now by this point I have been up all morning. I've walked the dogs and I've done some chores, and I get very, very tired. I often go for a little lay down in the afternoon, but today I thought that I'd make myself a nice cup of Earl Grey in my favourite teapot and rest while the blankets and throws were washing. I also decided to have some apples for lunch or for a snack, which I also had to share with the muttlings, of course. I'll be uploading part 2 to this later on, but this is part 1 of my daily cleaning and tidying routine as a stay-at-home wife that loves vintage and retro and lives with cerebral palsy. Follow for more.